Hi, I'm Christina.
I'm Maya from Bookworm Dreams, and welcome to a new video.
So today we're gonna be talking about Queen of Shadows. This is the fourth book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas. We have finally read it and ready to review it for you. So in this book, we follow a lot of things. A lot of things are happening. So let's start with first. So Dorian is controlled by the Wall. So a continuation from the third book. We don't get much perspective from him, just like snippets of his suffering, basically, yes. Then we have Kale, who is suddenly a part of the rebellion, and we have like his connection with Nezran, which is a new character that is introduced, and just him being part of the rebellion. Then we have Selena / Alien, who comes back to Rifthold to make some shit happen, to kind of confront Arabin, to confront the king. While doing that, she also kind of befriends Lysandra and understands her better. And
also, she comes to save her cousin. Mustn't forget that.
Oh, right. Thank you. Yes. Why do I keep forgetting Aiden?
Because you don't like Aiden. Aiden is awesome.
No, he's like a really good character. I just don't like the fact that he is very like mesmerized and reverential towards Selena. I don't like that.
Okay. We shall talk about this.
Okay.
Alright.
This sounds ominous. We shall talk about this. Anyways, so that's them. And then you have like this whole other storyline with the witches who are in Morath and are kind of being forced to be breeding
cows? How do you call it?
Breeding cows. Breeding cows for this demonic princess, and Manon having really struggles and difficulty accepting this and offering like any of her covens to like, here you go. You can use them as you wish. Like, they're beings, human beings. Come on.
Well, technically they're witches.
Okay,
so
witches, but like beings. Like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it.
And in the same, like, this part of the world, we are also getting introduced to Ulid, who is part witch, part human. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, she's human with some witch blood.
Okay, yeah. So that...
She doesn't have any powers.
And you don't actually get to know what her role in all of this is, but she is important to some people. So, we get to see her and her relationship with Manon and the witches. And finally, we get to be reintroduced to Kiltane. We finally find out what happened to her, and she kind of lives this ghost-like experience, like life, just being very haunted and just...
She was one of the original characters that was taken over
by the Volg, actually.
And the demons. So.
Yes, and like there's a whole lot of things happening. It's very difficult to summarize the plot because
like the book has 650 pages.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot. That's the shortest plot I can give you.
Right. So before we start, I think before you get to this one, you do need to read Assassin's Blade unless you read before. Because if you don't read Assassin's Blade, the motivation that Selena has in destroying Arabin is lost on you, and the relationship and between her and Lysandra is lost on you. And just basically, you need to read Assassin's Blade to really fully understand what's going on in this one. And we also do have a review of Assassin's Blade, so you can check it out somewhere. This book is made of awesome. This is my favorite so far, and because so many things have happened, and so many things. First of all, another more like explosion of world building and of new characters to follow who are connected. We know of Aiden from book 3, and here we learn about what he did and sort of how he's connected to Aelin, and how their relationship develops after whatever, because they were very young when they both were killed, when they're like not both.
They're alive. They're
family
alive.
and everything was killed when their kingdom was destroyed. So they've been apart for a really long time, and sort of them coming back together. And as you said, you don't like how he's like all.
And yeah, I like he is her cousin.
Yes.
And like, I don't know, I guess I have a problem with him. Like, I always felt some kind of love connection here on his part. And I hate
It's more familial, not.
Yeah,
romantic.
I just didn't get that, and it felt very romantic, and I was just like, but no, like no, no,
okay.
Please don't that's why.
Okay, I get it because nobody knew that she was alive, that Aileen was alive, and when he finds out, and he's like, okay, now we have a chance to survive. I think this is like a whole. Okay, we're here, we're alive, we're going to kill everyone. It's like more of a devotion thing to like, okay, we can do something now. And he's like, I'll do whatever you want, I'll do whatever it takes to sort of get back what we had before. And I think that is where the whole devotion and thing comes from. So yeah, I like Aiden. And first let's bash Kale, because Kale was shit in this book. Kale was so fucking annoying.
Kale has been shit for...
He just basically spent the entirety of the book hating Selena, Aileen, because of what she is. He's like one of those guys who's like, I can see you only as like the virgin fucking thing, and when you show him that you're something else than that, because she's like, she's a warrior, she's ruthless, she's she comes back as Aileen with these powers, and she's changed. And I mean, she loses the powers when she comes to the kingdom, but she's like, she can sense the change in her and the ruthlessness, and like she's all about, I'm fucking destroying your fucking kingdom, so get on board with this. And he's like, I fucking hate you because you're not what I thought you would be. So basically she showed him a different side of herself, and he hates her for it. And he hates her for being Fae, and he hates her for like, because he just throughout the whole first half of the book, until he fucking figures out that Dorian is not Dorian anymore, that he hates her, and he's like, you're going to kill Dorian and I'm going to kill you. And when they were saving Adian, she's like basically spent a minute trying to get Dorian, or whatever the thing is in Dorian, to come out, so she can save him somehow. And when she's about to help him by killing him, and then she gets knocked over by Nesrin and her sharpshooting bow skills. I don't know, I just fucking hated Kale in this one, and just he has a little bit of redemption at the end, but it's like it was so fucking annoying. His chapters were so fucking horrible, and I hated reading them. But then we get to Aileen and her awesomeness, and how resourceful she is, and how smart she is. I know you told me from the beginning that you didn't everything was more tell than show.
The Arabin part was very like, everything was telling, nothing was showing. And I hated that because she was ingenious. Like the whole plan was ingenious. It was really planned. Like you had parts of the plan that needed to be set in place for the entire plan and she did all of that. And I was like so mad that it was like, you have this like Kale chapters and stuff like that, and then it's just like, she's talking to Aiden and Rowan, and she's like, and yeah, I did all of that. And I'm like, but the thing you did was so awesome. Why didn't we see you doing it? Like, that was my speech.
And the whole revenge plot against Arabin was so good. And Arabin is such a he's an interesting character, of course, but he's such a jackass. Yeah. It was like, I'm so glad you're dead now. So spoilers, he's dead now. It was so good. We get sort of a reunion between Selena and Lysandra, who we meet in Assassin's Blade, and we find out some things about Lysandra, which are so awesome. Basically, her sort of not chance, fortunes have changed since the last time we saw her, and she's still doing the job that she's doing, whatever. But we find out after Rowan magically appears in the book, which was also very awesome. Basically, we find out that Lissandra is a shapeshifter, and it was so like just placed there on the page. Basically, they're sitting down eating dinner together, and and she's like trying to be flirty with Rowan because she knows Selena likes him or whatever. And she's like, I like her fangs. He's like, oh, you wanna imitate them shit on a shapeshifter? And everybody's like, what? It was such a cool moment. And she later uses her power to help them enact the final stages of their plan. and it's just she has the whole cavalry comes to rescue moment in the book, which I really enjoyed, and it was really
But
cool.
like hers and Alien's relationship finally, like, it's so good. It's like true friendship. Like they finally understand each other. Like when they can finally reveal who they actually are, and it just so much understanding. But because like with Rowan and Aiden, they have both had very traumatic experiences in their lives, and they can kind of, you know, understand each other in that regard. And I mean, I love that Alien Selena let Lysandra, you know, like
in
and like no, but just like for example, when she let her kill Arabin, she didn't take that despite everything that happened to Sam and everything. She understood that Lysandra needed this to happen for her, and she so like that's also, I like that it showed kind of like this softer side to Alien, that she could she is indeed a good friend, like Alien, a loyal friend. Like I like that dynamic.
Yes.
Like it was really.
Yes, it's good for Alien to have some female friends. She's usually surrounded by warriors and shit. She needs someone to like talk about like other things with, and that was really a cool thing to read about. Let's talk about the whole like Rowan, Selena, Alien relationship that's happening. So in the I keep forgetting, third book, Air of Fire. Basically, we find out that Selena and Rowan have this
blood bond.
I mean, that happens after. But they have like a connection in which they can share power by like, mixing their bloods and stuff.
They said it's called a mate?
No. It's something that starts with a C that I can't pronounce. Karaman, something like that. I don't know.
Caraman.
That part. So basically, they have a connection. And when she leaves wherever they were in the third book to come back to Whitford, she has
Rifthold.
See, I don't remember the names of places. Anyway, so when she comes back, she has to leave him behind because she has to do this by herself. And you know, from the moment she doesn't really talk about how much she misses him, like until he appears, actually comes to help her or whatever, because he's telling her some news of some sort. I don't remember what news, but he has to tell her something of whatever. And when they are together finally, it's like their connection comes back, but like tenfold, and that blossoms into like more. And then later on, they basically start flirting and hooking up, and I enjoy that part a lot as well. And basically, their relationship blossoms into a romantic one, but also he's part of her court, and Aiden is a part of her court, and there's also like he knows what she's supposed to do because he's a million years old and she's 19, and she hasn't really learned a lot about her court because she was very young when her parents died. Just he's there to make sure that her court survives and that it functions in a new, different way, so that, you know, everyone can be included, and that, you know, things will be different, which, you know, brings him into conflict with one of his with Lorcan, who is like one of his comrades from before. So I enjoyed their part of the story. Now let's talk about the witches and how Elaid, actually, the connection of Elaid with the witches. We saw Elaid in the third one. Elaid, whatever.
You didn't listen to the audiobook, right?
I did listen to the audiobook.
It's Elaid.
I know it's Elaid. I just don't remember stuff. I can remember how I like her, following her story, because there is character growth or development in the book, because, you know, she starts from this, I mean, from the beginning she's like pretending to be timid and shy and scared. I mean, she is all those things, but she's like amping it up for like the place that she's in. She's in Morath, surrounded by witches and crazy and evil and all the stuff that's happening there. But then, you know, figuring out later that she has some part of witches inside her, and that, you know, she helps them and whatever. And we met her. She's basically she's the daughter of the maid that helped Selena, Aelin, survive in what we find out in the third book. But yeah, I enjoy her, and I'm looking forward to it, because I remember sort of some parts of the fifth book. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with her and later on. But yeah, we talked a lot. Is there something you want to say? Cultane, yes, Cultane.
I think we just have to mention. So she is a character that kind of we meet in the first book, and she's kind of really annoying there.
Yes.
Well, at least she's portrayed as annoying.
She's like a court lady. Her goal is to marry Dorian.
Yes, and then she kind of gets whisked off somewhere. We don't know where. We just have like some foreshadowing events where she kind of hears birds and stuff. And then we get to this book and
she has headaches.
And she has headaches. Where we basically find out that she is imprisoned by a Volg and she has a Volg inside her. And that through this, they have kind of made her, created like this kind of power within her. The shadow fire.
I think she had it before.
Or she had it before.
She had it before, but with the Volg inside her, it sort of turned it into the shadow fire. I think.
Okay, so she had something that like, and this is like this very destructive thing that the king and the duke plan to use, kind of to destroy everything, basically. But throughout the book, like there's not a lot of moments with her, but you just see her first as this like kind of ghost-like shell where she, there's like no brightness in her eyes. She just, looks forward, does what she's told. Like
she's there, but she's not there.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, that. And throughout the book, we actually find out that that's just like a mask. She actually beat the Volg. She's actually doing this kind of to save herself, to save her life. And she understands the cruelty and like the wrongness of everything that's happening in Morath.
And that happened to her as well.
And that happened to her as well. God knows what happened to her. Honestly, I think like I feel like that stuff happened to her that wasn't like mentioned.
I mean, I think it was hinted at with the moment with Vernon when he corners her in the hole and whatever.
Yeah, so like
lead, whatever her name is, saves her from that. But horrible things happen to her, but she has a very interesting reaction to all of it.
Yes,
so,
and like the ultimate sacrifice that she makes, and like I told Maya before, like there are like this just very human moments in all of these books, like when she kind of, as we said in the beginning, like witches are being used basically as breeding cows, and like the moment where she kind of sets her shadow fire, like she lets it blow and saves those witches, like they die, but they're grateful to her. Like she kind of
she literally destroys the one and only like stronghold that the bad guys have,
and she is the one and only like big weapon that they had, and she destroys herself willingly. She knows she's doing like a good thing for the world, and just like I felt like maybe it's all the movies or anything. I just felt like people would be like, there are people in this world in times of war would do that and would have the mercy and the self-awareness to just know this is a sacrifice that I need to make to like just to stop help and like it was just like, I don't know, it was just such a difficult but great moment to have with her.
All right. So before we end, I just want to shortly mention basically Manon's realization of her grandmother's cruelty and how throughout the book, throughout the book, she is struggling with what they are supposed to do. Now, she became wing leader, and they've been placed at Morath to basically scout and do nothing. And more and more, she's being asked to do something that she disagrees with, but she's she is mindful from one side of her grandmother that she's supposed to do anything her grandmother says, or the grandmother will destroy the 13. On the other side, she's like trying to be like who she's been raised to be, and she's sort of having this. She has this conflict throughout the book, and then when we find out Asterin's sort of backstory and what happened to her and how her grandmother treated her, she basically snaps out of it and doesn't turn into a good guy, but she's like, okay, I have a mind of my own, and I'll do what's best for her coven and not for like whatever overall plan of the king and her grandmother is. And also Manon and Dorian, that was like my favorite part. That was like, I'm like standing her message, Manon and Dorian, and just the moment that those two had in the fourth book was so like, I was like, Manon and Dorian, basically she's the one who realizes, that he's still there, and
Yeah.
she's like teasing him and you know, trying to, because she is evil. She's like,
Yeah.
she can see like the difference, and then at the end of the book we sort of see her watching him from his kingdom, because okay, we didn't even talk about the final fight and the so
As
many
we
things
said,
have
so
happened.
many things
So
happened in this
basically,
one.
Selena achieves her goal. She kills Arabin and she destroys the king. And we find out some mythological parts, that there's like an evil bat that's out there in the world in form of Duke Parrington, and who's trying to conquer the world and other worlds that are sort of mentioned in the books. But basically, when she destroys the throne of glass, basically the glass part of the castle, we sort of find out that the king isn't actually the king. I mean, the king was. So I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure Dorian will emo about it a lot in the 5th book. But basically, we sort of find out that the king was controlled by another demon, prince or whatever, and he basically did a lot of things to try and prevent what has happened. But you know, it's like too little, too late, and we get to see finally the sort of power that Dorian and Aelin have together. So she's fire, he's ice, and when they come together, how much distraction they can have, which I think bodes great for like the last book when they're fighting everybody. But we'll see. It was a fun part, and I enjoyed the battle, and just, you know, it was so. This was one of my favorite so far. But yeah. Did we forget anything? We probably did, but just to say, we greatly enjoyed this one, and we're looking forward to reading the next one. If you read this one and you want to share some thoughts and mention some things that we forgot, please do down below in the comments.
Please like, share, subscribe, press the bell button whenever, if you want to get notifications whenever we post new videos.
There are some important links down below in the description box, so please do check them out. Thank you so much for watching.
And we will see you in our next video.
Bye.
Bye.